What's up, guys? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Today we got a video. It's the Golden State Warriors 2020-2021 offseason recap and their predictions for this upcoming NBA season. So without further ado, let's get into it. Their 2019-20 recap. In the season before that season, they lost to the Toronto Raptors in the NBA Finals. And in that Finals, their two stars, Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, got really serious injuries. KD tore his Achilles in Game 5, and Klay tore his ACL in Game 5. So it was definitely a tough series and a bad way for the Golden State Warriors dynasty to end like that. Like, they just were at the top, at the summit, and then went from best team in the league to the worst team in the league. They had the worst record in the NBA, I believe, last year. If not, it was one of the worst, like top 3 worst. They ended up getting the second pick. Klay missed the entire season. Steph missed most of the season. And yeah, it was just not a great year, but it wasn't supposed to be a good year. They just knew everyone was going to get hurt. They were hoping this season they could get back their core of Klay, Steph, and Draymond since KD left for Brooklyn and maybe make a run at a championship again. But right before this season got started, Klay Thompson tore his Achilles. So that's 2 straight very serious injuries for Klay Thompson. So it's up to question whether we'll see him at an all-star level ever again. Draymond is not playing at the same level, and this team is just deprived of talent now, and it's just Steph Curry. So let's look at what they can do this season and what they did this offseason. So one of the first moves they made is they acquired Kelly Oubre Jr. from the Oklahoma City Thunder, who acquired him from the Phoenix Suns. They had to do this trade. It was just kind of like once Klay got hurt, they needed talent, and I think they probably would have done this trade even if Klay wasn't injured. They just had that trade exception, and he was the best player they could use it for. So I like the trade. You didn't really give up much besides like a first-round pick, and it doesn't hurt you to have a player like Kelly Oubre on this team. It's tough just because this team is so talent-deprived. They're relying on him to be like the third option on this team, maybe even the second if Andrew Wiggins can't play well. But yeah, you had to use the trade exception, and he's a good young player to have, and he's he just shoots decently, does everything decently on offense, is a decent defender, pretty athletic. Yeah, just a young wing player to have, and he's it was a good trade by them. Draft picks they made, James Wiseman was their second overall pick. He's so far shown to be pretty skilled, 7 feet, super athletic. The question with him was just like his decision making and stuff. We only saw 3 games of him in college before the whole Memphis situation happened. So he was definitely a question mark coming in, and we're still not really sure what he is because we've only seen 5 games, including preseason. So still like up to question how good he'll be, but he's shown some skills for a big man, being able to shoot and dribble a little bit and maybe pass. I don't think he'll ever be a big time ball handler, but if he could just be able to take other bigs off the dribble, I think that'll be useful. And he shows some sort of jump shot early on and just really athletic. So rim protection, rebounding, lobs around the rim, just athletic finishes. So yeah, as long as he can do that, I think he'll be a good pick for them, and I think he'll stick around for them. Free agents they signed Kent Bazemore from I believe he was with either Portland or Sacramento. Yeah, he was with one of those teams. He's been pretty good. Or no, he might have been with Atlanta. I don't know. But he's just like another kind of basic wing or shooting guard type player. Shoots okay from 3, plays okay defense. And not much to say. The contract isn't great. He's been on a pretty shitty contract for a while now. Actually, wait, I think this might have been the year it ended, so I think he's not on a terrible contract. He's just kind of a rotation player to have. Another player, Brad Wanamaker from the Celtics. He was a good story last year, but in the playoffs, he got shown to be a little outclassed by other backup point guards, or just like by people playing in the playoffs. Like, he should have been playing playoff minutes. He's not a bad player by any means. He actually has pretty good percentages, shoots like 45% from the field and like 38% from 3. Just like, don't rely on him too much. Like, could be a very like decent 15 to 20 minute backup point guard for you. than their roster entering the season. They have Eric Paschal, who was like the big surprise rookie last year. He was a second-round pick, and out of all the young players they played last season for this team, he showed the most promise. He's a power forward with some ability to stretch the floor, mostly just mid-range, but maybe can develop a three-point shot. Decent defender, just has a good size to him and a good like switchable frame. I like him. I think he could be a decent just like off-ball scorer and athletic finisher and just defender overall. So I think he'll be good for this team. Jordan Poole, who was the highest, their first-round pick last year, I think he went like 20th overall, something like that. He was pretty disappointing, obviously. Hopefully this year he can put some games together and show why he was picked in the first round, but like he just struggled to score the ball in any efficient way at any level of the court. Wasn't really shooting threes well, shot below 30% from three, shot a very bad field goal percentage, didn't score that many points, wasn't that great of a passer, wasn't a great defender, just didn't look great out there. So hopefully his rookie year he can show more signs, because if not, I'm questioning whether he'll stick in the league or not more than his rookie contract. So he needs to show some signs to stay in the NBA. Another player, Kevon Looney, didn't play a lot last year, so his stats are going to look really bad. It's not as bad as it looks. He only played like 20 games last year. I like Kevon Looney a lot, or Kevon Looney. Not a great rebounder, but good defender. He's really switchable and just a smart offensive player, like really good at making the right pass and just like making the right decision, good finisher around the rim. I like him when this team had a lot of stars, because I felt like he was a really good five to have, because he was super switchable and just moved the ball well. But with this team it's kind of tough just because they're kind of talent deprived, so he's going to be asked to do more. But as long as he can play good defense, he's very switchable and finisher on the rim, I think he'll be a good piece for them. And then the other trade they made during the season last year, Andrew Wiggins from Minnesota. I wouldn't have made that trade, and I think they made a mistake making this trade. I understand that you got the first and you got D'Angelo Russell really wasn't helping you, but I think Andrew Wiggins is honestly one of the worst players in the NBA. It's not that he's not talented, it's just like he doesn't do anything that you would like him to do. Like offensively, he's terrible off ball, just not a great catch and shoot 3-point shooter, and just doesn't move or cut off ball when like the ball isn't in his hands and Curry has it. And then when you ask him to run the show, he just backs people down, no ball movement, just like very slow offensive game, and just kind of lulls the defense and lets everybody get set. It's just the worst way to play right now. Like you want to play fast, make quick decisions, keep the ball moving so the defense has to move. Once you slow down, the defense can get set and they only have to worry about one person with the ball. And he's just not elite at any level of scoring. So he's just a tough player, and he is going to command some respect just because he can put the ball in the basket. Like he was the 19th highest scorer last season. He ends up scoring, just not in an efficient way. Like all his games this year has been incredibly inefficient. I just don't love him at all, really. And then the last player I can talk about on this team, the star, Steph Curry. Steph Curry is Steph Curry. He's two-time MVP, unanimous MVP, 3-time NBA champion. Just a really great player. One of the best three-point shooter of all time. Let me clear that up. Really good ball handler, really good passer, good finisher, below average defender, but effort on that end, like a lot of effort. And he's an amazing player. There's nothing that this season is not going to knock his legacy at all, because this team is going to be really bad. Like I'm just going to be honest with you. And Steph Curry, as great as he is, I don't think he can carry this team to the playoffs or even a decent record. He's just not that kind of player. Like this is a debate I constantly have with people in the NBA. Me and my brother have a similar opinion on this. It's just when you are 6'3", it's harder for you to lead an NBA team. Like if you're LeBron James and you're the best player on a team, you can affect the game in so many more ways, and your offensive game isn't hindered by like shooting. Like we always say, LeBron, if he's shooting well, there's nothing you can do. He's unguardable. Same thing with Giannis. If Giannis could develop a three, he'd be unguardable. Steph has no sort of game that's unguardable. Like he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but he has to make either wide open threes off screens and plays and actions run for him, or he has to hit an extremely difficult 3-point shot off the dribble with a defender in his face or something. And he just doesn't have any go-to offensive game that he can easily get and just like acquire. Like Giannis, for example, hasn't shot the ball well this season at all. Same with Luka, but both of them have scored over like 25 points in both of their games this year, just because they have an offensive game that can't really be stopped that easily, where Steph Curry just does. And it's unfortunate, and he's a great player still. It's just he's not a floor raiser, he's a ceiling raiser, and that's my opinion. Steph Curry, nothing against his legacy, that's just my opinion on him as a player. So looking at my prediction for this team, no, I don't have high hopes for this team. I don't think they'll be a playoff team. I don't even think they'll be really close. I think they'll be at the bottom of the West this season. They're just very lacking of talent, and Steph Curry, who's obviously top 10, top 5 player, needs a secondary ball handler to really maximize who he is as a player. So yeah, once Draymond comes back, I think this team will be a little better because he'll be able to handle that responsibility, passing to Curry off ball. But until then, and even when that happens, I don't think this team will be great, especially in that uber competitive West. Like, there's 14 teams who think they'll make the playoffs. The Warriors are kind of one of them. Like, Steve Kerr is still saying, yeah, I think this team can make the playoffs. We just need to get all our guys back, and maybe they will. I don't think they will. Let me know what you think, and like and subscribe below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.